Hello, everybody. It's Brad from the Big Family Homestead, and I have a very, very special treat for you today. We have, drum roll please, everybody, Heidi from the Rain Country Homestead with us today. How are you, Heidi?
I'm doing real good, real good.
I
Yeah.
am so jazzed to have you here because you are one of the West Coasters. We don't have a whole lot of people in the Homestead Network that are over on the West Coast, and you're about as far as you can get on the West Coast, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And I have noticed that it does tend to make us feel a little bit isolated.
Well, that's going to be your gig, sister. You're going to have to pull for the WC people. See, because
Yeah.
you now, just for those of you who don't know her channel just yet, we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. But what a well-rounded channel. You guys deal with everything from crafting to off-grid to, just everything food preservation. How the heck did you get started in this wide variety of stuff?
Well, I've always been a pretty crafty person, like all of my life. And I've always been a little bit of one that's kind of somewhat futuristic thinking. My husband more so, but maybe not as much as I could be. But it was just it was been a process, and I don't know how much history you want, but I can just throw out there real quick what really was the catalyst to get us to
Sure,
where.
no, please. This is the let's dig in.
Okay, well, Patrick, it started back. Gosh, there's so many different levels of this, but I think the real big one was when Patrick lost his job in 2008, as did a lot of people, right? And thankfully for us at that time, we were virtually out of debt except for our house, and we had just started making big payments on the house. Well, then, boom, everything just kind of had to come to a standstill. And so that made us, when he got a job again and everything was going fine, it made us have to really rethink our priorities. And then me digging more into learning about health and food and what we eat, all of it kind of came together. It was just, I honestly believe God was leading us in this direction through various sources. And the more we learned about history, the more we learned about politics, the more we learned about our food supply, it was just, we realized we had to make a change in all areas. And then as far as my husband, he's always been very crafty as well. He's an awesome carpenter, woodworker. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen any of the kitchen videos. If you see the lower cabinets, the beautiful ones, those are the ones he built.
Wow.
Still has yet to get to the upper ones. Those are still the ones from 1965.
It's on the honeydew list, right?
And it's getting longer.
Wow. So now you guys are not completely off grid, but you're almost there.
We're working towards that, and it's we have the solar array, and that was definitely a big investment, and who knows if we'll ever see the payoff as far as in our lifetime. However, it's worth it to us because we own that power. We own that power, and it's there for us when we need it. And we try to use it as often as possible. We also do not try to be dependent on it because this time of the year, it's like right now, it's pouring down rain, it's dreary outside, we get very little collection where we're at, and so we also work on doing things off-grid the old-fashioned way, like the grinding the flour and the using the treadle machine and et cetera, et cetera.
Well, can you speak to a little bit on how much power you actually use and talk about the size of your system? Because I have personally dabbled with solar. We've got a solar powered chicken coop, and we've got a solar powered run-in shed for our cow, and then I've got a smaller setup that's 500 watts, but it was a nightmare for me trying to figure out all the math and the learning curve and going through batteries and burning up batteries when you don't know what you're doing. So tell us a little bit more on the workings of your system and how you got there.
Well, we started small, and please keep in mind when I say this, you've got to consider our area. And we had to put our solar panels in a place where it's not really south facing, which is going to be your best. So they're not in the optimal place, but people are probably going to fall over when they realize how many solar panels we have. We have, I believe, 28, and some of them are like 300 watts.
Whoa!
Yeah. And so it was a huge investment for us. But again, that's not going to be the norm for most people. When you get, 120, even as much as 160 inches of rain per year, you got to realize that you're not going to get a lot of sun. So, but for people like in your area, people that don't get as many dreary days, I mean, sometimes I think I live in the UK, but that would be way more than you would need. Now in the summertime, wow, we get tons. And so, and I cannot remember how big our battery bank is, but it's pretty substantial as well. So, and Pat, when he was in the Army, he had some courses in electronics, so he already knows quite a bit about that. And so, and then, YouTube University is always a great place to learn, as we all know, right?
Absolutely. Well, that's how we pretty much came at everything. You would just consume everything in terms of a topic, and then we would just sit and watch and take notes, and then we would try to dabble on a small scale and then get it bigger and bigger. But I'll tell you what, that solar is one of those things that seems like there is no good one place to go to get it all. It seems like you got to get a little bit from this channel, a little bit from that channel, and then kind of melt it all down so that it's usable. And I'm still not even convinced I got my math right.
Well, and then too, everybody's needs are going to be different. We were mostly wanting to make sure that we had enough to, if we absolutely had to keep running our fridge and freezer. And we have about a month in the winter time where there's very little we can run off of there. And I mean, I don't even run my washing machine off there, and sometimes we can't even run our freezers and fridge. So it's just really, really tiny things like LED lights and stuff, which is why we, the off-grid laundry system, we've been working on building that, where I have another means of washing clothes. If by chance we don't have public power, we don't have solar power, I still have another way I can keep washing my clothes. And of course, we have the wood stove for cooking and heating and drying the clothes. So that's not
actually, I was going to ask you about that. I've got it right here on my notes. I was going to ask you about off-grid laundry. What's the method you guys are going after?
Well, and we're putting up the videos as we're putting this together. We bought the mop bucket thing. I don't know if anyone saw that video. That was me doing a trial run on $1 garage sale find. I wanted to try it to see how well it worked, and I didn't know that Patrick was going to pull out the video camera and filming me, but it was like, okay, whatever, I'll just go with it. It's good in some ways and bad in others, but that made us think, okay, now let's find something else. Well, and plus, it was really cool the interest people took in that mop bucket thing. And so it really was, it kind of pushed us to, well, let's go ahead and dive in and go ahead and get that ringer we've been wanting for a while. And then Pat bought we bought the galvanized wash tubs, and then I don't know if you saw that video yet, but it just went up I think yesterday, where he put the drains in the bottom of them and then some hoses, and then he's going to build a stand, and then the ringer is going to go between, and then we're going to have that set up in our laundry room across from the electric appliances.
Whoa. Brave. Don't be splashing around in there.
Yeah. Well, we're making that, what we're doing is we're using the public power. We're making the most of everything that's currently available to us. But we're also getting ourselves ready to be completely off-grid if the need be, or if we ever just say, hey, come shut us off. But, and that's another thing that's this little bit side topic. It's that other part of sort of being prepared. We are currently 6 months ahead on our public power as far as payment. And obviously that's an estimate, But once we got the house paid off, then we started getting ahead on all the other bills. So if anything catastrophic happens financially, we're set for a little while. And yeah.
Wow. So let's talk crafts, because I know a lot of people that come onto these channels, there's not a big representation of crafty kind of things. Give us an overview of all the kind of cool stuff you do in the crafty world.
Well, boy, I don't do this a lot, but I have been an artist in the form of painting, drawings, and stuff like that. But that's not so much where I'm at. Obviously, it's into the more, the crocheting and the sewing, and I like to create whatever, whether it be food or, excuse me, sorry, or just whatever. But I have to go back to, I taught dance here in this area for 26 years and just recently retired. And we put on pretty big sized, considering how small our town is, pretty substantial sized dance performances. And I made anywhere from 70 to 90% of the costumes. And I didn't use patterns. I just drew them out on paper and started throwing things together. And I basically learned sewing as I went.
Wow.
Yeah, the most I had in sewing classes was home ec back in junior high. So, yeah.
So we can look forward to seeing some awesome craftiness. And I've seen a lot of your food videos, and boy, you really can make food look attractive. Like the way that you have an eye for the video side of things, especially your thumbnails, by the way. I like the way that you set your thumbnails up. It's very, it makes me want to click on it to watch it, and they're very good.
I like color, so, and if you were to see my dance shows, you would know that, because it's like, I'm very particular about, even when we did the Waltz of the Snowflakes from the Nutcracker, I could not have them in just white. I had to add a little bit of blue and silver to make sure everything kind of popped. I like to do that.
That's cool.
So,
now,
you painted all flat backdrops for the dance shows too.
Wow. So
yeah.
you've got, I mean, your channel is just a wide variety of stuff. So there's going to be something for everybody. And let's make sure that they go and open up a new tab and go to Rain Country Homestead. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And you know what? It's a double your money back guarantee. If you don't like it, we'll send you double your money back. So, but now, Thursday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern, you are going to be taking a live show on the Homestead Network.
Yes.
You ready for this?
I think so. Patrick is going to be joining me. Most of the time, I don't know if there's some nights he might not be able to make it, but he should be able to join me most of the time.
Well,
at first he was kind of not sure, but
our crowd is pretty forgiving and awesome. They're kind, good people. And I'm just excited because I think you're going to bring a whole new level of something different. I mean, you've got that artsy side, and you're West Coast, and I think there's a lot of people that would like to connect on that level who've been more of the shows, because everybody over here kind of has a very similar thing, and I think you're going to bring some unique perspective.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I mean, one of the things that held me back, I had people actually saying, you should do this, the YouTube thing, for a long time. Because I've been doing it on Facebook. I've been, putting posts and telling people how to make this and make that. And I was just hesitant, because I'm like, well, there's a lot of channels out there that already do this. I mean, I don't know that I really have more to offer. And so I really appreciate you saying that, because I spend a lot of time studying all these different things, like herbs and, the gardening and all of it. And I hope I have something to offer, because my goal is, I want to see everybody be able to put themselves in a situation health-wise, financially, and just being more self-sustainable, and anything I can do that will help people get there. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, I spent many years of my life in the music industry, and one thing that was always said over and over and over and over when you're writing songs and stuff like that, there's nothing new under the sun. But you specifically are going to be able to connect with people in a way that they want to be connected with. And while I could be saying the same exact thing that you're saying, some folks are going to gravitate towards your message, even though we're saying the same thing. And so I think that's a very, very cool position to be in, that you've got a unique perspective. And I say embrace it, go with it, run with it.
Well, I've been actually just pretty blown away, so is Patrick, at the amount of support and encouragement we've received from so many people, and just the kind words. It's just, wow, you know, it's been.
Oh wait, you'll get your haters. They'll be on the bandwagon.
Got a couple.
Don't worry. They'll be around the corner.
Used to that because I used to talk politics quite a bit on Facebook.
Oh man. No. Time out, flag on the play.
It was a good thing. It taught me how to be more patient, because I have that. I can have a temper. You guys haven't seen it yet, but it really taught me how to be patient and understanding, and try to put myself in that other person's shoes and realize where they're coming from, and just, yeah.
Well, and hopefully by that dialogue, we all grow and we all learn to communicate without having to just freak out.
Yes.
So, okay, as we're kind of winding up this time of introduction, don't forget, go over to see Rain Country Homestead. And Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're going to be doing a live event. As we round out this morning here, this time of sharing, if you will, if folks are kind of, let's just say folks are, thinking about, they're on the edge, they're watching these videos and they're going, I really should become more self-reliant. How would you recommend them to start?
Well, I think it's pretty much the same thing as a lot of people would say, is start by it doesn't have to be, this is what scares people, is they think it's got to be this big, huge investment in freeze-dried foods, $3,000. No, it doesn't have to be. It starts with just finding a few things that you know that you and your family will eat, and just get a little extra every time you go to the store. You get $5, $2, $10, whatever, set a budget. And then also start planting some seeds, any kind. Start with lettuce, easy, right? In just some little small place, because if you want to grow a garden, I'm telling you, it's going to take practice. You can't just throw seed in the ground and expect to have this abundant harvest.
Well, so and I would continue to add that go over to Rain Country Homestead and watch a bunch of videos.
There you go.
So with that, thank you, Heidi, for sharing with us, and I hope that you continue to have continued success with your channel, and I know you will, because you've shown us a track record of awesome stuff already, and so we look forward to seeing more from you, and we'll just thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day. Don't forget, Rain Country Homestead, Thursdays at 7. Bye, guys.